Well, I'd say just keep going as you're going, son. You done all right in the end. That's what I'd say.
Is there any challenges that you've been through that you just think that shouldn't have happened?
Yeah, there's been a few, but the thing is, like I say, would I want to turn back the clock or change them? No, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't have the experience that I have now. Experience can't be bought. It can't be taught.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can try and teach someone from somebody's mistakes, but you don't get the same feel. You know, you don't feel it the same when When you give you an example, when you go and buy a Rolex watch, right, and you wake up tomorrow morning, you've done your research online, and you've seen that this watch that you're just about to give £10,000 for is making £14,000 online. You've had the deal of the decade, yeah. You rush and go and buy this watch. You'd ask the man, "How do you want paying?" "I want a bank transfer." "No problem. I'll send you a bank transfer right now." You take that watch. After you've got it, you realise it's 3 links short, don't have a box, and it's got not an official Rolex glass in the middle. Now your watch is worth £8,000. You just give £10,000 for it, and you thought it was giving 14,000. You thought you was going to come back and worst case get £13,000, which would be £3,000 profit. Yeah, me telling you that stories, like, do you know what I mean? That's like, do you know what I mean? But you feeling that and doing that would make you think twice before you think to yourself, "Oh, actually, do you know what? Let me make sure that it's got a right glass, mate. Let me check it's got all the links." Now, without me going and making those mistakes, I would never have known. And the way I look at it again, and Islam has helped me with this, I look at that like it could have been more. Like, yeah, we take the lesson. It could have been more, because I've made a lot of mistakes and I've lost a lot of money in business. But again, I've managed to come back, bounce back, start other businesses, and make them work. Most things that I've done have been very successful.
More about in terms of traveling. Have you traveled a lot?
Yeah, I've been most places.
What does traveling teach you?
Just different cultures. Like, for me, I'm always looking out for entrepreneurs and people that are doing very well in life and people that like business. And it's nice to see how people do business all over the world, which I've seen.
Nice. So if there's someone watching this podcast who things might not be, going that well right now, maybe they say, "I haven't been dealt the best cards," but they're going, "Oh, the same thing keeps happening. I can't come out of this." What advice are you giving that person?
Right. I would give the advice of, first of all, being dealt, we can all get dealt a bad hand, right? We can all get dealt a bad hand. However, depends what situation they're in, depends which situation they want to pull themselves out of, and depends if they've got the willpower, the dedication, the persistence to pull themselves out. If you have willpower, dedication, and persistence, you can make anything work. You can make a success of anything. If you've got the will, the desire, the fire in your belly. And my advice would be, go and set out and go and do what you want to do. Listen, keep within the goalposts and be realistic on what you want to do. But it can be done. It can be achieved. If there's human beings out there that done it before, even if they haven't, who's to say you're not to be the first?
And the thing is, like, these are characteristics, and some people just like might be a little bit weaker minded. Is there something they can do to try strengthen their mental strength of going, I can be more resilient, I can be more persistent? Is there, like, a sport that you've done, or a course that you've done that they can go and look to go and do these steps before they make that other big jump? Because there's a whole society who's not doing it. I can say it, you can say it, and they're going, yeah, tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. And then it's 40, 45, and then they look back and regret and go, I should have done that. I just didn't have the confidence. But there's obviously a character trait that they haven't picked up on that have allowed them to do that. It's like when you go boxing and you get punched in the face, you got to know, if I get in that bloody ring and I don't move, my head's going to be taken off. So you learn how to move and you learn how to survive very quickly. Do you know what I'm saying? So is there something that's taught you, like, I mean, you've got not saying the best start, but you've got a billionaire environment
Mm-hmm.
around you. You've got abundance
Mm-hmm.
around you. Your dad's got invoices around you. You've seen his office. You've seen him doing business deals. You get to come and shadow him. What's that person doing if they haven't got all of that? Where can they put themselves?
Well, they get themselves employed by a billionaire at the same place. Listen, I'm not saying that. A lot of people think, they want to wake up tomorrow and everything be fixed. No, you do have to work from the ground up. Whether that means you have to, I used to unblock drains, and I would still set up a company, and I would do it to this day. If I had a property that I couldn't get somebody out to unblock a drain, I would go there and do it, and I know how to do it
Why?
because I had a drainage company. And that's what we thought the business was to be in at the time, because my dad, again, following in my dad's footsteps, my dad had a drainage company in Rainham. As a matter of fact, it's still going to this day, owned by his business partner's or ex-business partner's wife, called Southern Drains Limited. And I have a company, or had a company called Blockbuster Drains. I tried it, and I didn't. It wasn't the most. I wasn't the most successful at it, and it was a very hard job.
Hmm. Talk to me a little bit about, you had a business in the nightclub industry, no?
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a little bit more about that. How did you start that up?
I used to do travellers events and travellers parties, and the door again, we see the opportunity that the money wasn't where at the door, which was all I was getting. The money was at the bar, and I wasn't getting no share of the bar, so I had to go and find a venue that I could purchase and I could run my own nights from. It didn't start like that, and it's a very long story, but that's cut a long story short.
And how much did you buy the bar for?
I didn't. I paid off the debts. What was there? I think it's about 60 or 70,000 pound. There was like rent rates of maybe a few wages that was outstanding, electric bill. I got hit with loads of bills, and that was the agreement that I took the club on. So it'd probably been about 60 or 70, and I only ended up with a lease, obviously.
And what was the biggest learn from that?
Um, Again, when I bought it, I expected to just open the doors and people was going to come flooding in. They didn't. I was stood there for 2 or 3 weeks, probably by myself, because I wanted to make it a non-travellers venue.
Okay. And like, what stopped you from doing that business going forward?
It just wasn't for me. Late nights, not what an entrepreneur's made out of. It's a very good job, and there's people that can make it successful. It just wasn't for me. I wasn't compatible with that industry or that life. The nightlife industry, restaurants, hospitality is not. Just I wasn't the best at it. It wasn't very good. I made it successful. I made it propitious. I earned money. It was a profitable venture. However, did I enjoy it the most? No. I'm out. My weekends was dedicated to there every single weekend. As much as I want to go and earn money and be successful at whatever I'm doing, at the same time, I do want to live my life.
Mm. And out of all of these businesses that you've done, what's
Mm.
attracting you the most to go in which path?
What do you mean? Sorry, say that again.
So you've been, you've bought and
Mm-hmm.
sold stuff. Towels and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
You've gone in the bar
Mm-hmm.
industry. You're dabbling already in, the park industry in terms of,
Mm. Mm. Well, I've got my
homes.
foot well in the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that where you want to
No,
channel your energy more?
property in general. It's not that I want to channel my energy there. I'll always be looking to earn and save money at whatever venture that I physically and legally can. And the money that I earn, I will save up and I will put into property. And the reason I want to put it into property is because I want to leave it. Hopefully, I have children, and I will leave it to them, and hopefully they can go on and add to it. If they want to go through it and they want to blow all of it, then that's completely up to them.
Mhm.
But I'm quite sure if the work ethic is bred into my son, that's been bred into me, I know that won't be the case. I live a good life. I enjoy myself, and I deserve to. And I believe that the position that I'm in helps my business. Everything that I do, I always have my business or making
Mhm.
money in mind in the back of my head.
Mhm. People have a vision of what a billionaire
Mm,
life is. They have
mm,
this, sort of thinking like, hey, I might have 200,000. I bought a house. okay, millionaire is a big status, but billionaire is all the way up there. What is the life of a billionaire actually like on a day to day?
And first of all, I'm not a billionaire, like I'd say.